This stuff actually genuinely annoys me, but let's talk about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 because it's genuinely a ripoff. This is a scam. It's $70 DLC. It's something that has a 3-hour campaign, a bunch of recycled maps. I mean, the fact that they're trying to package this together and sell it as a full price release, it's despicable. But let's talk about that. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you can like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So I'm going to call this video, Do Not Buy Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, but I know that a lot of you guys already aren't. I can see the analytics. A lot of people that watch my channel are people that love horror games and RPGs, and this doesn't really have either of those. Even if it does have zombie mode, you're not particularly scared while playing Call of Duty, but I do feel like, as a person that covers gaming news, it's important to shine a spotlight on what I see as some of the grubbiest corners of the gaming industry. And here it is. Look at this. The game is literally $70 DLC. I don't mean that as an exaggeration. Inside the code of the game, Modern Warfare 3 is actually just being shown as DLC for Modern Warfare 2. People are talking about the fact that they're getting error codes where it's asking you to insert last year's Call of Duty disc. But wait, it gets weirder than that. I have the game on PlayStation 5. Activision sends me a review code every single year. I never really play it. I mean, obviously, that's why you don't see a lot of Call of Duty videos on this channel. The game is literally downloadable content. It just shows up as DLC for the last year's game. This to me is absolutely bonkers because I've never seen just such a flagrant blasé faire. Like, they straight up do not even care to fix the code. Like, this has to be a glitch. If they purposely are just listing it as DLC to make sure you can't get a platinum trophy for their $70 massive release, it just shows how much they don't even respect the consumers that continue to buy their games. But let me actually take a look at this. Here's the other part of it that a lot of people are discussing. If you pay a bit extra, there's a special early access version of the single player campaign that started last night. It's 3 hours long. If you actually buy this game, which comes out next week, they've been doing multiplayer betas and stuff that honestly kind of suck, but the campaign, some people really enjoy the fact that they at least look good, they're cool tech demos, they have great set pieces. This year's Call of Duty is boring, it's short, and once again, this is a full-priced game. Now, I've actually found this really interesting tweet here where this guy actually broke down the fact that it's just such a bizarrely bad game. He uses the word lackluster. Now, 99% of people are not buying the game for the campaign, but you have to understand, even if you are that tiny demographic, realize that the average Call of Duty is about 6 to 7 hours long. A couple of the Call of Duties have had a 10-hour campaign, so even if you're just doing this mathematically, you're getting less content for the same price. Because this is, again, DLC. This has basic missions and basic graphics. They're what you would expect, but there's no sniping style missions. There's no crazy cool stuff. I mean, it's just straight up like, wow. No build up, no suspense, no climax. Waste of a cool villain as well. The open combat missions were quite a letdown, a lot of missed opportunities to what they could have been. Perhaps the biggest marketing point they've been hitting over and over again about this campaign is that there's open combat missions. Instead of just having like a corridor that you're walking down, shooting people and doing your special mission, there's different options, different ways. Do you want to go loud? Do you want to be sneaky? Well, turns out that's basically BS. Turns out that pretty much every mission is the exact same. It's very simple. It's very basic. And this sucks. It sucks to me that Call of Duty is the biggest franchise on the planet. It makes tens of billions of dollars. And the reason I think that sucks isn't because I'm like an Activision hater or, oh man, Activision Blizzard is evil. My thing is that I feel like it just reflects poorly that the biggest thing on the planet when it comes to the gaming industry, it's lame to me that the biggest game on the planet is something that's just so bland, that's so lazy, that's just so uninteresting. Like, The fact that when you ask a normie, hey, what do you know about video games? They're like, oh, that's Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto. That's like every game to them. Gosh, $70 for this is just ridiculous. But here's the other part of it. Modern Warfare 3 was definitely planned as an expansion. This guy is a really, really big Call of Duty YouTuber, so honestly, Gaming Revolution, I fully trust his opinion on this. Modern Warfare 3 was definitely planned as an expansion. It's so obvious, and it definitely isn't worth being sold as a full game. Yes, on paper, it's 3 core modes and a full COD campaign, but when you break it down, these offerings are pretty lackluster. That word again, lackluster. The campaign is a filler story with no stakes. Over half the missions are just spec ops played on Warzone maps. So spec ops is this thing that Call of Duty invented, which are like little tiny objective-based multiplayer missions. They're pretty much just having you play those and putting some cutscenes in it. That sucks. The fact that it's being played on Warzone maps as well, which is Call of Duty's Battle Royale, it's literally an asset flip. At this point, it's practically a fan mod for $70. Multiplayer is just the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, but fixed in the original maps from 2009 remastered. They could have just patched this stuff without the bad maps to get the same outcome. Now, I will admit, there have been some Call of Duties over the last couple years that I've enjoyed. I mean, Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, I played about 41 hours of it, I think it said on my PlayStation 5, and I enjoyed it for what it's worth. I definitely got my time out of it, and I did also beat the campaign. I also really enjoyed stuff like Call of Duty World War II a couple years ago. I enjoyed some of the Black Ops 3 and 4 times. My issue is the fact that it's really weird that we keep getting this hit and miss cycle. Because Call of Duty has multiple major developers that keep passing the baton back and forth, the quality, it just fluctuates so much. Activision, you guys just look bizarre that you keep churning out good Call of Duty, bad Call of Duty, expensive Call of Duty, map pack Call of Duty, patch Call of Duty, free-to-play Call of Duty. So much of the same bland slop has got to be hurting this brand. I mean, at this point, I hope this gets boycotted. I hope it sells badly just so you have to actually improve it. But I know at this point it's probably a false hope, but here's the final point of his post here. Zombies is Outbreak mode that's been pushed forward from COD 2024 because Treyarch is apparently ahead of schedule and made it into a DMZ hybrid on the Warzone map. That's the only mode though. Would have been better to get it alongside a round-based next year, which we probably still will, and why pay for a beta version when it's just going to get a full packaged COD next year? Yeah, so the new freaking thing, Zombie Outbreak, is actually on a big open map. The success of Call of Duty Warzone, their free-to-play, battle pass-focused freaking game. It has stuff like you could play as Nicki Minaj and Spawn and the Joker. I mean, the skins in general are very bizarre because Call of Duty at one point was a military shooter and now it's kind of a clown show. But what else about this is really crazy to me is that it is wild that they've decided to put everything on the Warzone map, including the zombies mode, which used to be fun because of the round-based aspect and the fact that you actually had to coordinate with your team as to what part of the map did you want to try and make your last stand on. I am just making this video because I do hope that the industry improves. Call of Duty has been great. It has actually been something that pushed multiplayer forward. I do think there have been a lot of good games in the franchise. I just get annoyed when we see a company that clearly doesn't care. They just churn this out. Not a single person that worked on this project could have been that passionate about it. A 3-hour campaign that doesn't matter, that doesn't have good graphics, that doesn't actually push the envelope even within the world of Call of Duty. Another set of remastered maps with a $70 price tag on it. This is the laziest Call of Duty ever, and that's a high bar to set. But what do you guys think about this? I'll be honest, I bet 99% of the comments are just people going to be like, I was never going to buy it anyways. And that's fine. I'm hoping this kind of breaches outside the typical bubble. I mean, I never asked this, but maybe share the video somewhere. Even if you don't post the video, I don't know, tell your friends, hey, do some research. Before you blindly buy another Call of Duty, do some Googling, read some impressions, realize this is more than just another map pack. Hey, it's kind of an expensive piece of DLC that doesn't respect the consumers. But these have just been my thoughts. What do you guys think about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3? I'm surprised I didn't say the name wrong. I think I might have said Modern Warfare 2 at one point in this video because, honestly, the fact that they're repeating names now, even that feels incredibly lazy. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and keep dreaming. Oh, you know what? I want to post this. Look at this picture of me. I got to meet Alan Wake. These two guys play Alan Wake. That's the voice actor. That's the face actor. And I met them. And I'm happy as hell. That's so cool. You know, some good vibes. Good games are out there. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last. Or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.